It's Monday, my friends, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Wherever you're going, if you're going to work and listening to this as a podcast, your day is going to be amazing. Today, we have some shocking news in this video, so viewer discretion is advised. First news is shocking, actually. Look at this map. This is Donetsk city. Donetsk, People's Republic, the self-proclaimed People's Republic. It's the biggest city of their self-proclaimed republic. And if we zoom in, we see Donetsk airport. Now in 2014, this was one of the main fighting areas. Donetsk airport changed hands many times. It was one of the strong points and last strongholds of Ukrainian forces who had to pull out in the end. Now this airport doesn't work because it's bombarded to pieces. It's moon surface all around it. But the news is not about the airport. It is about the settlement north of the airport, Opitne. This one right here. Ukrainians with a surprise attack, because this front line here has been mostly stable for almost 10 years. With a surprise attack, they pushed into Opitne and liberated some urbanized areas, almost half of the settlement. Now this is according to Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. So if they report it, Ukrainians are very good with their OPSEC. They usually never announce anything if it isn't confirmed. Multiple sources. Ukrainian Ministry of Defense has confirmed this. Opitne has Ukrainian troops in it. But even that is not the main point. The main point is what happened to the Russians. When they were bamboozled with this Ukrainian surprise attack, Russians pulled back. And even that is not the main point. The main point is what the Russian artillery crew then did. And I'll read it to you. And we're gonna watch a video later. Information coming from Russian units in Opitne. During the retreat of our troops near Donetsk, a tragedy occurred. We wrote that our troops retreated a little and Ukrainians advanced towards Donetsk and the Donetsk airport. A source in the general staff told us new details of this troop withdrawal. And I quote, "Unfortunately, not everyone retreated clearly and harmoniously. Some of the fighters retreated to new positions chaotically and almost in panic. As a result, a tragedy occurred. Our soldiers slept with the fishes, the fire of their own artillery." Basically, it was a Russian blue-on-blue incident. Ukrainians pushed into the settlement, taking the Russians by surprise. Some of the units pulled back, some of them didn't. The Russian artillery crews didn't know that some of the units were still present. They opened up an artillery mission, striking their own units. This happened north of Donetsk airport in the vicinity of the settlement of Opitne, near Donetsk. Now, to get you to grasp the real reality of blue-on-blue incidents, friendly fire incidents, I have a video for you from July of Russian blue-on-blue incidents, and we can hear the intercepted Russian communications at the time of friendly fire. Now is the time to click away if you don't want any graphic sounds in your ears. Russian blue-on-blue incident, I'll read you the intercept that comes. Granit, cease fire. Cease the fire. Cease fire. We are being shelled heavily. Where are you shooting? Cease fire. This is Rambo confirming the friendly fire. Our guys are being shelled. Do you hear me? There's none of us left. Our guys are getting hit. Granit, cease fire. This is Rambo. I'm the signal man. Granit, I will destroy all of you. You destroyed a part of the front line. Nothing works. No one hears us. Doing the best I can. We got no one left. Granit, cease fire. If I come back, I will eliminate all of you. The issue was that Russians themselves suppressed communications because this artillery mission was supposed to be before Russian assault, so they suppressed Ukrainian communications. At the same time, they strike Ukrainian front lines, Ukrainian defensive positions, but the Russian defensive positions were so close, they struck their own troops in July and suppressed their own troops' communications also. So the communications saying that ceasefire, it's friendly fire, blue on blue, didn't go through. So this happened for a long time. A lot of men sent to sleep with the fishes. Before we go on, I have to a little bit talk about the importance of this liberation of part of Opitne settlement, because it's so close to the Donetsk airport, which is politically incredibly important to Russia. Because it was the main, it's like Bakhmut for Russia, because 2014 it changed hands so many times and it was a huge political victory for Donetsk People's Republic's militia if they took this airport. Now Ukraine striking back into the area, well, it doesn't strategically carry any significance because Ukraine will never enter Donetsk because they don't do urbanized warfare like that. Donetsk is a huge city, you could almost call it a metropole in the area, going into that city is suicide. Ukrainian army will not do that, never. But if the Ukrainian army could take the Donetsk airport and stop there and consolidate these gains, Russians would feel politically pressured, like they did in Bakhmut, to strike back, to take it back with any means necessary. And this is what Ukrainians know. So if they take this airport and then put up very effective defense, Russians would have to run themselves bloody once again. Now this might be the goal of this pushing into a beatnik, because strategically it is not the goal. Donetsk city cannot be conquered with force, just too big of a target. Also, liberating the settlement of Beatnik so close to the Donetsk airport, it panics the Russian command structure. They don't want to lose anything so close to the Donetsk airport, such an important symbol for them, so they will put new reinforcements into the area, relieving some other frontal areas, which is also a victory for Ukraine. In any way, I would call this maneuver from the Ukrainians here a diversionary attack, and a very effective one. My friends, in this video we can see a Ukrainian T-64 BV getting stuck not near the front line, but in the front line. And it's not even mud, it's just a ditch, a hole, it's a dirt. A tank gets stuck. It's an unfortunate situation because Russians can strike, they're in the artillery range of Russian artillery, and then the German pioneering vehicle, Pioneer Panzer, however you call it, the Germans, comes in aid to dig it out. It's a beautiful sight to see. The pioneer vehicle does what it's supposed to do. The story behind it, though, is that Ukraine is in huge deficit of these vehicles. They need more, and they are high-value targets. If Russians would find out at the time that this is on the front, they would send everything they have against this vehicle. Definitely, I could say that this pioneering vehicle is a higher target than the tank itself. But it's beautiful, in my eyes at least, personally. It's beautiful to see when military vehicles do exactly what they're meant for. Sometimes you don't see it in this war. Tanks are used as artillery pieces, shooting through their barrels in one day, wearing out their barrels, which cannot be replaced because there are none. SOF, Special Operation Forces, are being used in defensive purposes, what they're not meant to do. So seeing this pioneering vehicle doing pioneering tasks, for my eyes, it's beautiful. My friends, these videos get quite serious sometimes, and it's very hard finding humor in this because it's dark. So I want to show you some humanized aspect of this war. I want to share you moments of where daughters get back their fathers, wives get back their husbands. We'll share one of these moments here together. A daughter hasn't seen her father for months, perhaps a year, and now she sees him. Of course she runs. And he comes with the flowers to the wife. Again, I never had a father like that when I was small, and if he would have come home like that, I think I would have run the same way. And I know many people are watching me have military families. You guys know what it means to have your father deployed over the oceans, perhaps if you're American. In Iraq, or if it was in Afghanistan, you don't see him, you don't know if he's coming back. I feel good for this daughter. And I've spoken to these fathers also. I mean, the train from Kiev to Warsaw, they take the vacations to see their families in Poland. And these guys get like 2 to 3 weeks off only. And then they have to go back to the front. I mean, this emotion is so real. Now, my friends, let's look at the front lines from the southern front. Ukrainians have made some gains, but so have Russians. And I hate to report it, but I have to, and you know me, I will. But this map doesn't really give us more information. I just wanted to show you. We'll go to this map, and it's also in the description below. You will see all of the units deployed detailedly, their last locations, the names, their former names, and everything. Link is in the description below. Ukrainians are inching closer to Nova Prakopivka, this settlement right here, and the Ukrainian 47th Mechanized Brigade, this one right here, who liberated and evacuated Robotyne, is the one doing the advancements. Now this map hasn't been updated yet, but this area is where I'm with my cursor, northeast from Nova Prakopivka. Ukrainians have liberated Russian occupied positions, and it's a heightened ground. You have to take this before entering Nova Prakopivka. And this is what the Ukrainians are doing, inching closer, step by step, day by day, saving their manpower and machinery. Of course, Ukrainians could put everything they have on the front, push it through the gaps they have formed in the Russian defensive lines, and take areas faster, taking bigger losses, but that's not the goal. The goal is, if they break through anywhere significantly, they need to have those reserves to be used immediately like that. This is why you need to save your force. you need to have that reserves ready. That means you cannot waste them in anywhere, any way. This is why the advancements are also so slow and so careful. Now we go to Verbova, the settlement a little bit east from Nova Prakopivka, and this map also hasn't been updated, but north from Verbova, in the fields right here, I hate to report it, but Russians advanced. I'll go to the simplified map, it's better for you to see. You see, Ukrainians are very close to pushing into the settlement, but here, this is a Russian defensive line, infantry fighting positions, this black line right here. See, it doesn't show it on this map, but actually, yeah, this is the real one. The Russians pushed back about 300, 400 meters, reoccupying some of their defensive positions, pushing the Ukrainians back. And unfortunately, the unit that they pushed back is the 82nd, the elite Ukrainian brigade. So I don't know what went wrong there, and I hate to report it, but this is how it is. Ukraine gains some and they lose some. Ukrainian Ministry of Defense has made a change in their OPSEC policy. What I mean by that is they have started to report minimal gains and small advancements. Usually what the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense did, their OPSEC policy, was to announce a liberation of the settlement like 3 to 4 days later if it's definitely liberated and consolidated. What they do now is they announce every small advancement. Why is this necessary? Well, because they need to convince the allies and their own people that they are advancing, because the advancements are slow and some people are feeling tired, war fatigue. They need positive news. And again, I hate to report this, but the reality is that the Russians did the same when they were failing with the Bakhmut offensive, inching so slowly. They grabbed onto every meter captured and showed this to their people like a huge victory. Now Ukraine in a way does the same because it is necessary. It's tough times, you need to have your people seeing these victories. You cannot waste your manpower, so the only way is to do it slow and steady, methodically and safe. But this means the advancements are incredibly slow. And now we see these reports from the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense of every small advancement they have made. That is the reality. If any pro-Ukrainian military vlogger reports these huge Ukrainian victories right now, then that is not the reality. The reality is a very slow, hard grind, methodical advancement while trying to save your manpower and machinery. That is the reality. Now, my friends, if you are from the United States, then get ready to get triggered, because Medvedev, the ex-Russian president and now the chairman of the Russian Security Council, is straight to the United States. It's 9/11 today, so my condolences go to everybody in the US who lost somebody in that tragic day. But Medvedev takes a different approach, and I read what he wrote. I'll read part of it. I don't want to forebode, but they'll see at some point that the T word, I cannot say it, will launch another 9/11 style attack, but with a nuclear or biological component. Or even worse, one of the leaders of the nuclear countries will lose his nerve and make an emotional decision to use weapons of mass destruction. Especially since the nuclear club is constantly expanding and a significant part of it is not bound by any obligations. Now this is a hidden threat to the United States. In this day, it's a day to commemorate the people who we lost with 9/11 attacks. It's a very tragic event. And me I lived 3 years in the United States, and I understand that event. Most Europeans don't. It's a national tragedy, and the whole world should take it as it. But Medvedev turns it into a threat against the US, making more enemies. My friends, now I want to give you something again to feel better about, because this news is gruesome and grim and serious. So before you go to work, I want to show you how life prevails. A cat with her kittens. This house was bombarded, as you can see from this video. The family escaped, but the house is abandoned. They couldn't take their cat. So she went into the drawer with her kittens to protect them. The drawer was slightly open, and there she is with her small kittens, shielding them from the Russian bombardment. Now, I do hope that the cameraman took the cat and the kittens with him and protected them and brought them away to safety. I want to share these videos. I mean, they're not directly connected to this war, but I want to share this aspect because for me, this gives hope. I see another animal rescued. I see another father coming home to see his wife, his daughter. This gives me a different feeling about this war. I want to humanize it, because it's so easy to get desensitized, to get zombified, to see these drone videos and forget about the life that is taken in these videos. Well, these videos that I show now, the cat, the father, they give it back. They give the humanized aspect back. and I want to keep focusing on it. Yesterday, the European Parliament passed an agreement or a document forbidding Russian citizens in EU importing Russian cars with Russian numbers plates. And also phones and laptops and everything like that. But the car part is important because what the hell, the EU, you have gotten it wrong. The Russians don't want Russian cars to be imported into the EU. Nobody wants Ladas, old or new. It's the opposite, you have gotten it wrong. You should ban the EU export into Russia. Because the Russians want the EU cars, they want the Mercedes, the BMW, the Audi. We don't want the Lada. You got it all wrong, you got it backwards. I mean, it's a joke on the EU Parliament. They have this whole get-together, they sit for 12 hours to write this new agreement and they give the voting and the signatures and then it's the wrong way around. Like, they banned Russian cars to be imported into the EU. Nobody wants them anyway. Why the hell? Who would buy, in their righteous mind, proper mind, who would buy a Lada in the EU? There's something wrong with you. So, yeah, EU Parliament, I'll give you another chance. Try again, get together and ban the export of European cars into Russia. My friends, now we'll go through Russian losses of the past 24 hours, 11th of September. A very sad date for Americans. 580 Russian personnel sleeping with the fishes, 6 tanks, 12 armored personnel vehicles, 28 artillery systems, 3 anti-aircraft warfare systems, 35 UAVs, 32 vehicles and fuel tanks, and 5 special equipment. And I talked about before why the Ukrainians are taking this very careful, slow and methodical advance doctrine. It's because to save their manpower and because they are hammering the Russian logistics. That is where they put their energy in, because you're fighting a bigger enemy. Your only option, you're smaller, you're faster, you're more agile. The Russian army is slow and big and like a bear, you know. You have the stamina, you move around, you strike here, you strike there, you strike the logistics. You wear out the Russian bear in some certain areas. Like the southern front, the Russian artillery is worn out. It's getting hammered by Ukrainian artillery. Their troops on the front line are lacking. They have attrition because the logistics are hammered. That is the right way to do it. Ukraine knows their shortcomings and their trump cards, and this is what they're using. They don't have this enormous manpower, so they have to save their manpower. But what they can do is attack the logistics and wear out the bigger enemy. This is what we see, vehicles and fuel tanks, 32 in a day, and this has been going on for 3 months. The effects will show, believe me, there will be these breakthroughs we're waiting for. I believe it, and I know it, knowing how every war is a war of logistics, and this is what Ukraine is striking. Kadyrov is back with his crazy personality, or, I mean, he's not gonna take the place of Prigozhin, because he's not clown enough, he's not impulsive enough, but he's a drug addict. His health is really poor. He takes opioids, that much I know. Now his health recently went suddenly very bad, so what does he do? And get ready, this is funny actually. He eliminates his personal doctor, the best they have in Chechnya, Suleimanov. Kadyrov's health went really bad suddenly and he's like, who should I eliminate? Who is to be responsible for it? I know. The best doctor in the country, the only man keeping me alive and keeping me very healthy and actually caring about my health, I'll take him out. That'll show him, got him. What the hell, I mean, this is the only guy and the best guy in Chechnya who could actually help him. And in October 2022, the doctor suddenly disappeared. Suleimanov. Kadyrov suspected him of poisoning. He suspected his doctor of poisoning him. Well, my friend Kadyrov, if you're watching him, you're poisoning yourself with these opioids and heavy drugs you're taking, so no doctor is responsible for that. But yeah, go ahead, eliminate your doctors. This also shows you the paranoia of these strong men in Russia, like Putin also. They don't trust anybody. They need to have food tasters. Not like Zelensky, who can go anywhere, even to the front lines. His men look up to him, they respect him, they want to be like him. In Russia, you always gotta protect your back. You will fly out of the window, you will be poisoned, something will happen to you. You cannot trust your own people, like Putin, afraid to declare the mobilization because he doesn't want to give weapons to his people because he don't trust them. My friends, at the end of this video, I again want to end with a positive, humanized note that gives hope If you're going to work and this is the last bit you see, you're gonna have a wonderful day. This is a Ukrainian grandmother, babushka, Anna Palamut, 81 years old, in the settlement of Balaklia. 1 year ago, the settlement was liberated by the Ukrainian armed forces and she immediately knew what to do. Her grandson and son were also deployed in the army. So what could a grandmother do for the armed forces of Ukraine? She started baking, really. She started baking cakes and bread for them. And if I was in the military, I mean, a Snickers was from gift from the heavens. Coca-Cola was a gift from the heavens. Freshly baked bakeries in the woods or in the war zone, I can only imagine it will lift your spirits and you will fight another day. So this is when I want to share this story. We'll watch it, how she bakes. Yes, in a military blog video. A grandmother baking for the army. This is what I want to show you. Salt, sugar, oil, yeast, a little bit of everything to make it tasty. This is Anna. We were under occupation from February to September 6th, 2022. And when we were liberated, we were very happy. Oh, kitty cat. Oh my, okay, yeah. Oh my God. I told Tanya, here, bagels, cookies. We can bake them to the soldiers. Cookies. A man needs something nourishing so he doesn't feel hungry. I said, go to the store, buy some chicken liver and we'll bake some liver pies and potato pies. And that's how we started baking pies for the military. Every day she does that to the Ukrainian troops. Apples for pies. My daughter would call me and say, Mom, we need pies. When she says so, I'm always ready. All winter we baked pies with nuts, apples, liver and poppy seeds. I feel sorry for them, very sorry. Well, it is not in our power to reason with that idiot Putin. We were living peacefully, not hurting anyone. You know, when I bake the pies and they deliver them, it's a load off my mind. And I want to pause here and say, I understand this feeling. I feel guilty sometimes in front of Ukrainians because I'm Estonian and they're fighting for us also. And we give as much as we can, like 33% of our military GDP we have given. We give more. This is why personally I deliver these trucks to the Ukrainian army. I go there. I feel I'm making these videos and I'm here at safety in my room in Estonia. I go there, I talk to the soldiers, I understand this old lady. You feel the weight off your chest. This is the same way. I feel like I need to do it and you guys have donated. You guys have donated with 3 of my fundraisers. We have gathered $250,000, 250,000 you guys have donated. I personally have delivered 10 plus of the trucks that you have bought. Night vision devices of 60,000 USDs. IFAC medicine bags. You guys have done this, so I don't know if you feel the same way, but I know many of you have donated. I do hope you get the same feeling of this weight off your chest. You have done enough. Also by watching this video and knowing these stories, you're on the right side of the information war, so I hope you get the weight off your chest also. I do. I want to help them. I want to help as much as I can. As they say, the best of my ability. Apple pies and poppy seeds and cakes. Look at them, freshly baked, shiny. As a soldier, you're getting them. Oh, you're going to heaven. Such a nice gift. Such a nice thing to do. Thank you, Anna. My friends, now I want to read you 5 new patrons who have supported this channel. I can really focus on my work peacefully and not worry about the funding that much because I have Patreons. They take a lot of load off my chest. I read you the names with my Estonian pronunciation. Ian McCloy, Fredrik Tibbin, sorry, it's Diblin, Kerta, Brad Miller, Hesam Lamey. Thank you to these 5 people. If you like my videos, you know what to do. Tier 10 and above and I'll be butchering your name. Also, my friends, go and follow me on Instagram. No reason to do it. Just go and do it. I feel like I want to share my life with you guys. So I want to share, yeah, it's more my personal life there. So yeah, I'll see you there. And until my next video, which will be tomorrow. By the way, after tomorrow, I'm going to Kiev. Like, I'm going away for a week to Kiev to visit the troops, to deliver 3 trucks that you guys donated for. We gathered 50,000 with the last fundraiser. 3 trucks to the Ukrainian Special Forces. I'll make a video about it. And in the meantime, I have some videos prepared for you guys. So if you see videos coming up from me in this week after tomorrow, then know it's made in advancement because I don't want you guys to just sit without videos. And try to watch them because usually my videos, which are not about Ukrainian frontline updates, don't get views that much and it makes me sad. So if you see a video coming, just click on it. You don't even have to watch for long. Just click and watch a little bit so I don't feel so pressured when I'm in Kiev. Thank you, my friends. And until my next video, stay cool and bye-bye.